Hi friends, hope you're doing great today. So today we would be discussing about CB Replicator, one of the most important tool while you are integrating Dynamics CRM and SharePoint. So what exactly happens is in scenarios when we integrate Dynamics CRM with SharePoint for our implementations, usually we need to do it a lot. Reason stated, it helps you so as to store your files, the physical files, the attachments, etc. into the application with saving your cost on database. So usually what will happen is user will go into the application, will go in the files and will start uploading the documents. This thing is at background is well integrated with your SharePoint application, which can be configured so as to create folder structures based upon our requirement. Now the biggest challenge what happens in this type of integrations is like this regional user would keep on uploading a lot of documents, but if a user, let's say me as a user, as a salesperson, logins logs in into the application, what exactly happens is I am able to see all those documents, all those attachments which are not concerned to me. I would be able to access the documents with which are attached to different other accounts. In application, what will happen is usually when we create a dynamic CRM application, we would be having, let's say, hundreds of accounts, and each account would be having its own set of documents. The moment you upload these documents into Dynamic CRM, these documents would be stored in your SharePoint. So definitely you want to replicate the security model of Dynamic CRM to SharePoint so that the users are not able to see the documents of the accounts to which they are not associated to. And this thing is achieved by usually using this third party application, which is known as CB Replicator. So the process of creating a CB Replicator account is like it is offered as two sources, like two, we can say two ways it is being offered to us. One is like as a on-premise server, you can buy this software, install it on your soft servers, and you can configure the applications. The other way what I am demoing in here is using it as a software as a service portal, wherein people would be just logging into an application. Your admin needs to log in into the application, need to undertake certain configurations, and they would be ready to go. So I am using a demo account in here. The moment we create a demo account, we usually receive an email. The email would be having your activation code, and this activation code can be used so as to activate this account for 15 days. I have integrated this application using my Azure client ID, the secret ID in the application. So let me show you. So what exactly happens is you have to go to your Microsoft portal azure.com. Once you are in there, you need to go to your Azure directory. In there, you have to click on app registration. In app registration, you need to create an app. In the app, there would be two things which you need to do is API permissions, and in API permissions you have to enable dynamic CRM permissions and have to grant the permissions for user impersonation. Once everything has been done, then we need to generate client secret and the certificate. So this is my secret ID, and other IDs are available in here like my client ID and my directory ID. Once I have all the required information, I simply need to paste the URL of my organization followed by my client ID, tenant ID and application ID. The moment you do it, you would be good to go ahead with testing the connection. If test connection goes well, this shows that your application has been well integrated with Dynamics CRM. The same operation we need to perform for SharePoint so that both the applications are well integrated, that is your Dynamics CRM as well as SharePoint. Once this integration is in place, nothing more needs to be done. You simply need to play it, and the moment you would start playing it, you would be seeing multiple logs out in there. These logs shows whenever a new attachment is uploaded to an account or to an account, so the people or the owners of that account would get required permission in SharePoint to perform the action. Now I would be demoing the same to you on my screen in here. On my screen, if you can see, I am logged in as a system administrator, and the name of the system administrator is Sumit Gupta. Let's say Sumit Gupta goes to this Fabricant account and he selects certain files to be uploaded into the application. So I'm just selecting it out so as to upload certain attachments in my SharePoint site. For now, if you go to the accounts in SharePoint, you don't see the Fabricant. Okay, this account is already available. So I would be uploading certain files in here. So I have Fabricant and there are no attachment at this moment of time. Now I am clicking so as to upload certain files in here, choose a file, and I simply selected this file. The moment I selected this file, the file got uploaded into the application without any issue, and it would be reflected in SharePoint also. So now it is available in here. Since my application has been working all good, my CB Replicator has been working all good. So you can see a log has been generated which shows that Fabricant INC has been associated system administrator, read access, write access, sales manager, read access, write access to this particular account. Now I am going to the application as a salesperson. So this is my regional manager application. Okay, now let's go to the regional manager. If I select all accounts, for some reason, since he doesn't have the roles and required permissions to see that particular account, so Fabricant account is not visible to him. And if we go to SharePoint for the same user, Dynamics CRM group, and I want to go to the site, so I would be clicking on the site somewhere. So in here you can see that being the regional manager, I am not able to see the Fabricant account. If I had not used the CB Replicator, what would happen is any new folder which would have been created by uploading a document by any of the user, this account would have been, or this Fabricant account folder would have been visible to me. Now I am going back to Sumit Gupta's application or the record, and I am assigning this record to my regional manager user. The moment I would be associating the regional manager to it, what will happen is, since now the owner of the record has been changed, so the CB Replicator application, which is being running in the background, what it would do is it would associate or update the permissions in SharePoint and will allow the regional manager to see that recording there. So I would be showing you the same in the logs. The logs would be reflecting the same in a minute. So see, system administrator, it's sales manager, it's still the same. It's still in progress. Yes, still. So now it's associated to regional manager. Now let's refresh this screen. In this, we would be able to see that, see, now the record event has assigned this. So what exactly happens is, now the assigned record has been updated. Now let's go to the regional manager, and I would be updating in here, and Fabricant account would be visible with all the attachments out in there. And that's the beauty of the CB Replicator. That is, it takes care of impersonating or replicating the security roles and permissions in Dynamics CRM to your SharePoint, and it gets triggered on every action, like let's say assign, associate, access team, connections, the way we have configured in Dynamics CRM. If we don't use it, what exactly happens is, the users would, since in SharePoint we don't have a folder like access or a dynamic access controls, so what will happen is, the moment records would be created, the folders would be created, though the user will not be able to access the metadata out in Dynamics CRM based upon your security roles and permission, but they would be able to access the attachments to that record directly in SharePoint, and that creates a lot of concerns at times in a project implementation. Thank you. Have a great day.